Well, good afternoon. I'm going to concentrate on opening one new car today, and it's this new release, Greenlight Hot Pursuit Series 37, the New York City Parks and Recreation 2013 Ford Escape. And if you've been watching the channel for a while, I happen to like the Ford Escape casting because I drive a Ford Escape. So here are the other ones in this release. Series 37 is an 82 Ford Mustang SSP, Texas Department of Public Safety. I have that from an earlier release in the California Highway Patrol. A 1982 Plymouth Grand Fury in the NYPD. Like to pick that one up. An 85 Dodge Diplomat in the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. This Escape, and a 2017 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 in the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife, and then a 2020 Ford Police Interceptor Utility, which is the Explorer, in the Philadelphia Police. 2020 copyright, and this was just released within the last 2 months. This is, I believe, the latest. And I did not order any of the others. Like I said, I may want to get this 82 Grand Fury with the NYPD. So I pre-cut this, and I will bring out its siblings, so to speak. So let's get this out of here. And I always find it a little amusing that the Hot Pursuit does like fish and game and New York City parks and sanitation, much to my benefit. This is not my only New York City parks car. So here we go. So metal body. This one has a metal base, rubber tires. These Escapes that Greenlight does, which I believe they're the only diecast brand that I know of that does the Ford Escape. If anybody knows otherwise, please correct me in comments. But lensed inserts for the headlights with the little amber orange paint there for the turn indicators. Nice printed Ford badge there. It's kind of small. There's your New York City Parks Enforcement, Parks Police, they used to be called when I was a kid. So it's got some nice details. It's got molded mirrors with silver paint there. Inserted taillights. There is a New York State license plate there. You have your insignia for the Parks Department and the City of New York. Some pretty nice tampos on the side, New York City Parks, a number. This one has a clear light bar. And I'm happy to have this because these, number one, this is the second cheapest Escape I bought. I'm happy to have this because I love Ford Escapes. I like all Fords. And I don't see an immediate big red flags for quality control, which Greenlight occasionally has. I mean, is it perfect? No. I mean, that lensed headlight there, you can see a bit of a gap, and I guess that's flashing. Neither headlight is 100% perfect, but they're pretty good. I mean, these are 1/64th scale. These are small cars. Which, of course, brings me to a couple of questions that I've mentioned before. So first off, I'll take out my other two Ford Escapes. The first Ford Escape that I was able to get from Greenlight, which is this green machine, which I overpaid for because it was the only one I could find. So this one looks like it has a screw base. Hold on. Is that rivets? I believe that's rivets. Let's take a, so this green one, excuse me, this blue green machine one. I actually forget the series that it was in, but again, the same details. Lens taillights, headlights, the painted silver on the mirrors, this green base. Honestly, this green base, it looks like metal. It's, to my hand, it feels like plastic, and it's very light. Yeah, there is definitely a weight difference. So I think this is a plastic base with just a very good shiny green paint job. But they look like screws to me. And then the red one, which I've shown before, which is from the Hollywood 10 pack. And this one is the best detailed of the three. The headlights seem a little clearer, less flashing. The chrome strips around the little fake vent and around the windows. This paint job is better. The tail lights. So this is a black plastic base, Greenlight. So these are a copyright 2011. Which means that they must have worked with Ford Motor Company in advance. They must have gotten access to the design from Ford, because in the United States, this style of Escort didn't come out until 2013. This was the first year of this shape. I had an older Escort, the second generation, the square one. We knew these were, I mean, people that were interested in the auto industry knew these were coming. This particular style of Escape was first introduced in Europe as the Kuga, Kuga, and there had been concept vehicles shown in the Geneva Auto Show a few years before, I think 2010 or so. So this was a highly anticipated vehicle. It was in the automotive press at the time, both online and in print. So I would imagine that the casting company had access to the designs ahead of time. And that's another thing. So these are Greenlight models. And I'll say it again. We all know that none of the diecast companies actually make their own vehicles. They're all made in China. And so I've mentioned this before, but I believe that in the early days of Greenlight, they were buying cars or castings, or they were contracting castings from a company called Malibu International, also High Speed. And here's an example of Malibu International. It is a Ford street car from 2003. Let's take a look at the base here. It just says Malibu. It doesn't say Malibu International. It doesn't say High Speed. It says Made in China. There's no copyright year. Now this one just has painted headlights and taillights, no insert, but it is a no paint on the mirrors, but it is an obscure car that as far as I know, and I have two examples of this. I have this Malibu International, and then I have a Maisto that my friend David Johns of Twice Diecast sent me as a gift. But let's move that off to the side for a second. But here's another quirky Ford of the era from Malibu International. And this one, I think, proves my point a little better. So this is a Ford Focus Coupe from the mid-2000s. I believe 2005. Let's see. So again, Malibu, China, but there's no information really on the casting here, no casting number, metal body, plastic base, rubber tires, but very nicely detailed. And I've often said that I believe most of these stock looking castings from Greenlight, their early series, Motor World, I believe were mostly contracted through Malibu International High Speed, because the similarities are just too, they're not coincidental. And so on this Ford Focus, you have inserted lensed headlights, no paint on the mirrors, but inserted taillights, the third stoplight, the Ford badge there. You have a fairly good level of detail. Look at the interior there, is fairly well molded. You can see the center console and the steering wheel. It's always nice to have a convertible out. And again, so I can't find a Malibu International version of the Escape, and I can't find a Greenlight version of the Focus or the Street Car. But I have shown these two twins before. So, and this gets even more interesting. So, this is a Greenlight Shelby Cobra 427 SC from their Motor World release. And of course, yeah, they still use this casting. And this one does not have inserted headlights or taillights, but it is a nice detailed model. Metal body, plastic base. There you see Greenlight China. You see 1965 Shelby Cobra used under license. Okay. But normally Greenlights have, I should say, normally Greenlights have casting numbers. Let's check this newest one. There it is. Is that GL 052? I think. Yep, GL 052. And just because it has a Greenlight casting number doesn't mean, yeah, GL 052. So Greenlight's had this casting available since at least 2013, and sporadically releases it. And this Cobra, these go back to about 2005 or so. And this Malibu International branded version is exactly the same. Let's take a look at this. They are slightly different paint on the headlights. The wheels are identical. One has black side pipes, the other one has silver. All the details are so close. Looking at the bases, though, cements it. Again, the base here up on top is a Greenlight. The one on the bottom is Malibu International. They both have the attachments for the plinth, which Greenlight does not do. I have no Greenlights that ever come on a plinth or a base. But the Greenlight will, the holes line up. It's the same base. It's the same casting. Okay, there you go. If I didn't know better, yeah, that would screw right on there. I keep these in two different rooms of the house simply so that I don't get them confused. That's how similar they are. And for those, that have been watching for a long time, you'll know that the 65 Shelby Cobra 427 SC is one of my favorite cars, period. And it is sort of a model that I like to chase from as many different diecast brands as possible. So I have, I think 13 of them from 7 or 8 brands, and I've done several videos on that. And several people have said, well, Schuco makes one. And we all know Schuco. Schuco is one of my favorite new brands. Well, new to me, I should say. Schuco does some beautiful models in 164 and other scales. And so I was able to find online a Schuco Cobra, and the seller was nice enough to include some great photos of the car and the base. And when you look underneath, the base says high speed. So this is a question I have for you, because I've heard people refer to high speed castings. Most famously, Champion DJK. When I first started watching his videos over a year ago, he would occasionally mention, just drop it as matter of factly, high speed, high speed. I think this is an old high speed casting. Googling high speed, all I know is that they are a company that makes diecast cars from Hong Kong. The same can be said for Malibu International, except for Malibu International has offices in the United States and California, as does Greenlight. So Malibu International, Schuco, I even found, oddly enough, a Motormax connection that I still don't fully understand. And so here's another. Again, we all know that Greenlight does some really nice castings and so forth, but I believe this is another one that they took over from Malibu International, or High Speed does the casting. I'm not sure. This is the older version of the Ford Explorer. So 2015 Ford Explorer used under license. Copyright 2011. And of course, this is also in New York City parks. And you can see lensed headlights, nice details, molded mirrors with silver paint, Greenlight quality control. It came without that taillight, but the one that's there is a nice lensed detail. This is metal body. So I was Googling frantically, and a hobby database and something wiki, and just in general Googling. And if anybody knows a good resource, a website, database website for the diecast brands, please drop it in comments down below. And now this I know is a Greenlight original, because it's a new casting, and I'm not sure that High Speed is, I'm not sure that Malibu International is still around. But again, lensed headlights, beautiful details. This one does have painted taillights, and this is a very heavy model. This is not. I mean, this Cosworth Escort is a slightly smaller car, but it is a heavier casting. But as always, I'm happy to have this in my collection. I know I beat up on Greenlight, but there's a good reason. Just like M2, they have quality control issues. You watched me open this one on video the day I got it, and that taillight just wasn't there. It wasn't in the package. It was gone. So I love Greenlight models, but we all have to be cautious of. It's usually just tires that aren't on the wheels. Speak of the devil. See, that's a little bit of tire alignment, and that's nothing. You just adjust that with your finger. But when it's headlights or taillights falling off, or light bars, when you're taking them out of the package, that type of thing just shouldn't be allowed at this price. I have more Greenlight than I do Auto World or M2 or Schuco or Kyosho. But I don't have any quality issues with Kyosho, Shuko, Beyonce, Inno, Para, any of these brands. I hear people now finding some quality issues with Auto World as they ramp up the production and the numbers. And I guess that's the price of success is a drop in quality. So I'm ranting now for 20 minutes. What do you think of this Escape? Would you look for it? If you really need to have an Escape, this is the best way to get it. The second best way is if you can find the Hollywood 10 pack. With this one, they average about $35 per set, but there you get 10 cars, so that brings it down to an average of $3.50 per car. This one is under $8. If you see it on the pegs, I think it's $6.95. I purchased it online. And as I've joked before, this one, because it was a green machine, because I could find no other Ford Escapes on eBay at the time, this one is one of the most expensive cars I bought. I overpaid for this because I was impatient. You know? So there we go. The Greenlight 2013 Ford Escape from Hot Pursuit Series 37. And my meandering into my questions about Malibu International and high-speed castings and the connections. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think. And if you have any information, drop a link down below. Have a good afternoon.